Oh, M&P 2.0. We're going to talk about this gun today. The M&P nerds, they always get excited when I talk about their favorite toy. And as I've been spending more time with it, I'm starting to understand a little bit better why this is a lot, well, not a lot of people's, it's some people's favorite toy for sure. And they do get really excited about it. The round count's not quite 10,000 on this yet. It's getting up that direction, it's getting closer. I shot it a couple thousand rounds just last week. Um, and I have to say, everything has been going pretty well with it. For those of you guys that watch the channel all the time, I said I got a lot of really hot ammo that's good at breaking all sorts of guns. I shot a bunch of that through this gun, and well, as you can see, the gun didn't break. Nothing has fallen off or anything. But the thing that kind of struck me was I really liked the way that this gun shot with the hotter ammo. As it comes from the factory, I guess it's sprung for the hot stuff because the way the gun soaked up the heavy recoil nicely. I mean, I could tell that it was hot. Yeah, there's more happening. Like, whoa, okay, a little more recoil, but I liked the way the gun felt as it soaked it up and it returned pretty nicely. So, in my opinion, it's almost like the gun. I wouldn't say it shoots better with hot ammo, but I liked what the gun was doing better with the hot ammo. That's a good way of putting it. Uh, as I've continued shooting the gun, I'm getting more and more used to it now. I used to struggle with the trigger a little bit more because you can see it's just a little more travel with this thing than there is on like this Glock 47. You can just tell visually there's more travel in the trigger, which means to me, it's like I just have to be a little bit more careful to make sure that I pull the trigger straight. As I was starting training with this gun, I had flyers kind of going every direction around the targets. And now I'm just not doing that as much. Like things are centered up, they're a little more even, especially when I'm shooting aggressively. The grip tape, like it's a good change for the gun. The gun for me, it's going to need grip tape, but the other struggle bus thing is connecting my support hand to the gun consistently. It's just I don't know. It's like the shape of the gun's a little more irregular, I suppose, than the Glock, for example. So it's a little bit more difficult for me to get my support hand on it. All that having been said, I'm not having any other issues with the gun. There's nothing really wrong. I think at the start of the week, I took the slide off and just like looked at the gun and like wiped it off and added some oil. Then I shot thousands of rounds over the course of the week through the gun without, you know, doing anything to it. It's like, yep, it's working fine. So from all that perspective, the gun's doing everything it's supposed to. It's reliable. It's working well enough, and it's just a matter of me training and getting used to it. So overall, like my experience with the M&P so far has been positive. There's not a lot of maybe there's little things I don't like, but there's nothing really wrong with the gun, not that I can tell at this point. Now, every time I talk about the M&P nerds get on here and they have comments. So let's go to the last video where I mentioned the M&P and let's see what you guys had to say about it. All right, worst thing about this gun is having to type the at sign every time, or the and sign every time. Like, yes, the ampersand. Great. Yes, that is shit. All right, this channel is truly 2010 YouTube. The camera quality keeps getting older looking. Thank you so much. Ben, that was my M&P you shot, and it was awesome that you could see that with all those other shooters. Happy to tell you that Smith & Wesson found the same thing and sent me a new gun. I was blown away that you could tell with 20 shooters on the line. Thanks for the great class. Oh, okay, I see this. This guy's referencing a story I told about an M&P that looked just like this one. It was another 2.0 with the flat dark earth, as I recall. So I had a guy in class that was shooting a gun like this. I'm just kind of looking at his target and like something seemed wrong to me. Like watching him and watching the target, it was like a cluster of hits in the center of the target with a bunch of flyers up high. And like again, watching the guy shooting, it was like I couldn't see him doing anything that was producing the flyers. So I'm like, hey man, can I see your gun? I shot it a little bit and I was just like, no, this thing's like not working. The gun would, at 15 yards, it would pattern like this with high flyers, like really high, like, 6, 8 inches out of the group. And it was like, this gun is messed up. So yes, I remember that student and I remember that gun. Um, yes, and I do remember it was a pretty big class, and I was just kind of looking at him though, like, doesn't seem like he's doing anything that wrong. It's nice that Smith and Wesson fixed the gun. That's the only like lemon M&P 2.0 that I've personally seen, but I suppose it is a thing that can happen. All right, let's keep going. All 20 M&P owners are happy. Maybe there's I think there's more than 20, but they do get really excited about the M&P, a lot of them. All right. Smith's main focus needs to be those damn base plates and the barrel on the. Well, those are good places to start. I don't like the base plate with the big overhang on it, and I do think this is a gun that benefits from an aftermarket barrel. And yeah, it would be better if it wasn't so much that way, if it came with a better barrel from the factory. With all of Smith & Wesson's woes, the M&P has been an absolute banger. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what other problems is Smith & Wesson having. They don't, I don't know. We'll get some more industry drama going on. I look at my M&P 2.0 as my reliability price. The best videos Garand Thumb ever did were those torture tests, which M&P won both. Those who want a race gun or something for competition, just go with Walther. Okay. That is a thing you could do. The early unlocking issue is still present, not to the issue of the M&P 1.0, but it's there. The 2.0 is not as factory accurate as it could be. Not every aftermarket barrel corrects this, only the apex geometry. Read about it or call Randy Lee for Pete's sake. Okay. Well, I do think that, like I said, I don't think this gun is mechanically as accurate as some other stuff. Probably would benefit from a different barrel. And if you're saying Apex does it right, I mean, other people say that too. That may be the case. Okay, I had the frequent flyers with the 9mm M&P even from a rest with red dot sight on it. Yeah, it's the gun mechanically. It's not what you're doing. I installed an Apex gunsmith barrel and it tightened up quite a bit, but not how I had hoped. Looking at the back of the slide, you could see the rear move left and the front move to the right when dry firing it, and it kept getting light primer strikes with both barrels. Cured that with a 6-pound Glock striker spring. Okay. I don't know, man. That sounds like that's getting to be sounding like kind of a weird situation. These guns reminded me of buying a used boat. The best 2 days were the day you bought it and the day you traded it, but the difference was these guns are brand new. I mean, yeah, I guess. I haven't, well, I have seen it, like what you're talking about. I think if you get a bad one, it's going to color your opinion. It'd be really interesting to hear Ben's thoughts on the 5-inch M&P versus the 4 1/4, different spring weights too. Probably going to be, yeah, the guns do the things, but that's what we like hearing anyway. No, it would be interesting shooting this, the 5-inch, with like softer ammo. The way it's sprung from the factory, it feels like a little kerchunky. If I was shooting like reasonable ammo with the 4 1/4, I might just like the way that the feel and the reciprocation of that a lot. That seems possible to me. I'm not going to get a 4 1/4 just to try that. All right, the original barrel in my 2.0 was throwing wild flyers, usually 6 to 8 inches from the point of aim, one out of about every 6 to 10 rounds. I assumed it was me getting used to a new gun at first, then I figured it just didn't like the ammo I was using. After trying different ammo, I assumed it was my dot getting loose or broken, tried a different dot, same problem. Drove me absolutely crazy until I put a threaded Ed Brown barrel and the problem magically disappeared. Yeah, so the one that I saw in my class, it's very similar to what you're describing. I don't know how frequent that is, but I'm sure they have some percentage of guns coming out that just like they just don't group, they don't work properly. That seems like that's going on. All right, it's enough of that. Enough of this M&P nonsense. In the next month, I'm gonna probably be at 10,000 rounds. Get a good review on it. Get an Apex trigger in it. Keep shooting it, and see what I think. Should be great.